Have you ever worked so hard to memorize a surah and got off track for a while, only to realize you have completely forgotten everything you worked so hard to memorize? I have, multiple times. In this video, I'm going to explain the simple system I used to get back on track, how I used it to regain a surah that I thought was completely lost, and how you can use it to help you recover your lost portions of the Quran. Back when I first really started to get back on my Quran journey, I didn't know where to start. I felt lost, like I would never be able to get my Quran memorization back to how it was when I was younger. I would sit down, start reading, and begin trying to revise like I used to when I was a kid. That's when I realized that my revision was not as strong as it was before, and I needed to see which parts I actually needed to focus on. So the first step is to assess your Quran memorization. Figure out what parts are weak and what parts are strong. Consider if you can recite it without looking, or how often you need to check the Quran to see if you're reading correctly. I used this rating system to decide what ajza are weak and which ones are strong. You can adjust it based on your own preferences. These are just my own guidelines that I made up for myself. Now that I figured out what I should be focusing on, I was all set up for success, right? Wrong. I still needed a plan of action. I decided to start off from the top and work my way down. Surah Al-Isra was the last surah I memorized before I stopped memorizing regularly, so I decided to start from there. But what should I actually do? I could start with 1 page a day, but that felt too easy, and 5 pages felt too hard. So I decided to revise 2 to 3 pages each day. Occasionally, I would do more if it felt manageable, or less if it was challenging. The focus was on revising those pages perfectly and perfecting any mistakes. The important thing is, each day I revisited the surah from the beginning. As I kept going with this routine, the surah became stronger and stronger, alhamdulillah. If you are struggling to regain forgotten parts of the Quran, I recommend breaking it into smaller, manageable sections that you can revise daily. Take 2 to 3 pages from that surah or juz and revise them perfectly. Every day, review from the start of that surah or that juz until you reach the end. Once you complete it, review the entire surah or juz every day for 3 days to a week to make sure it firmly stays in your mind. If you can, repeating it 3 times every day would make it even stronger. Now, the last step is something that I completely overlooked, and it's probably the most important. It's something that we should do not only to help us with the Quran, but in every aspect of our life. That is, to make dua. Asking Allah for help is the most important thing you should do to reach any goal, no matter what it is. Constantly ask Allah to make it easy for you to remember what you have forgotten, and to help you not forget it again. So now that you know how to regain your old surahs, make sure it stays that way. Watch this video next to learn how to build a solid Quran revision routine. This is the part that often goes overlooked, and it's actually even more important than memorizing.